Hi everybody, Martin here, and tonight I thought I would do a playthrough of the game Flamme Rouge. Now this is the core game, and in case you don't know, Flamme Rouge is a cycle racing simulator for normally 2 to 4 players, but there is a solo variant on the Board Game Geek page for this game called Muscle Teams Solo Play, and this solo variant is actually official, quote unquote, because it is written and designed by the designer of the game, this gentleman, Asger Harding Granerud. So even though the solo variant is not included in the box, it is designed by the game's designer and is included in the game. So very quickly, here I've already got the game set up for solo play. Almost. There's a couple of pieces that I have to do yet. But basically in this solo variant called Muscle Teams, you choose 2 AI opponents. So I've chosen the green team and the blue team. I will be the red team. So the red team is the solo human player, i.e. me. The track that we are racing is the kind of starter track in the game. This is the what the rules recommend as the first track that you play if you're just brand new to the game. It's called Avenue Corso Paseo. Okay? And so that's the track that we've got set up right over here. And as you can see, this game looks really nice on the table. The track looks very appealing. And of course, we have these small minis, these riders. And speaking of the riders, so each team has 2 of these, and you'll notice the different letters on the back. So one says S, it stands for Sprinter. I'm just going to call it Sprinter from now on. And then the other one stands for, says R on the back, that stands for Roller. I'm just going to call him Roller, okay, if you guys don't mind. So each team has 2, it's comprised of 2 riders. And the whole point of this game is, obviously, it's a race and you want to be first to cross the finish line. Now, your 2 riders are going to try to kind of have some teamwork with each other and use the rules of cycling to be able to help each other out. You know, maybe do a little slipstreaming, maybe block some other riders and those types of things. Okay, so I'm going to put these guys here. So, the 2 AI teams have got their riders set up. The opposing sprinters are first, right behind the starting line over here, as you can see. The opposing rollers are right behind their sprinters. And then the human players start in the back. I could have placed them really anywhere here in the back. I'll just start right where these are. Now, each team has a set of movement cards. This is the sprinter deck and the roller deck, and that's the same across for the AIs. Now, for initial setup, the AIs do not acquire any exhaustion. That's what these cards are for. So these cards kind of simulate that the more distance you travel around the track, the more tired you get. And those exhaustion cards get added to your deck if you are a human player. If you're an AI player, you don't get exhaustion. They just don't suffer exhaustion effects in this solo variant. And you'll see how that works out. So, for the human player, you start out with the solo variant rules say you start out with a total of 3 exhaustion cards, and you get to decide how you apportion them between your sprinter deck and your roller deck. You could put all 3 in one or the other, or you could put 2 in one in the other, etc., etc. So, I'm going to grab 2 sprinter exhaustion cards, and I'm going to add them to the deck. And I'm going to do a little cursory shuffle here. Oops. Okay. Shuffle, shuffle. Okay. All right. There's the human player's sprinter deck. And then I'm going to put 1 exhaustion for my roller. I'm going to stop trying to pronounce it in French because I have no idea what I'm doing or how I'm saying it. There you go, shuffle, shuffle. Okay, my roller deck is now properly shuffled. And we are ready to go. So according to the rules of the solo variant, the human player will pick the cards 2 at a time. or rather 2 cards one at a time. So you have to pick, every round you have to pick 1 movement card for your sprinter and 1 movement card for your roller. And the card is going to have a number on it, and that number will determine how many spaces on the track they will move for that turn. That's pretty much it, okay? And then otherwise we play the game exactly as in the multiplayer version. And then, as soon as we pick our cards, the AIs, the way that the designer streamlined it is they will simply, we expose the top card of each deck, and then that card is how many spaces the AI will move. So in the meantime, we get a choice of 4 cards each. All right, so, and finally we have this handy-dandy phase reference card here, which talks about the different phases in each turn. You get the energy phase, movement phase, and end phase. And don't worry, we will go through all of these. We'll go through all of these together. Okay, so stop talking, Martin. Let's start playing the game. So first things first, I'm going to choose to move either my roller or my sprinter first. Last time I played, I chose to move the roller first, so now I'm going to choose to move the sprinter. As the human player, you draw the top 4 cards of your deck. I wonder if you can see them here. Yeah, pretty much you can see a little bit. And you can see what cards I have. So I've got 2 9s and 2 4s. Right? And now I have to decide, do I want to play a 9, which is obviously going to get me out in front of the pack right off the bat here. But there's only 3 of these in the deck, or even 2. I'm not sure about the number of the cards, the split between each, but there's only a few of each card. And here's the rub. Once you play that card, it is removed from the game. It does not come back. So as you can see, the more you go and the more you exert yourself and the more you use your high-value cards, you will lose them sooner, and you might need them later on in the game. Meanwhile, you're going to be adding more exhaustion cards to your deck if you're not smart about how you are playing. Okay, I hope to be able to show you all of this that I'm just talking about right now. So, do I choose a 9 or do I choose a 4? And bearing in mind that whatever I choose for my 1 player, I'm going to have to try to match it with my other player. So you know what? I'm going to have a conservative start, choose a 4 for my sprinter. And I'm going to put in here in the sprinter card. Now, the other 3 cards that I didn't choose, they get recycled. What does that mean? Face up, you put them at the bottom of the sprinter deck. So that means that when you start drawing and then you suddenly see a face-up card, you know you've reached the bottom of the deck. You got to flip it over, you got to shuffle, and then you got to make that the new deck. All right. A lot of talking, Martin. Less talking. Now let's move on to choosing the card for my roller. So top 4 cards over here. Okay, what do we got? We've got 6, 7, 4. Okay, so this is kind of interesting because as you can see, we chose a 4 for our sprinter. And ideally, we'd want them to end where there are kind of like 2 spaces or there's 1 space in between each other because of slipstreaming, and I'll show you that in a second. So I'm going to try to play this 6, okay? So that's the card I'm going to choose for my roller. And if if my plan works, then one of my riders is going to be a little ahead of my other rider, and then they'll be able to help each other out. We'll show you that in just a second. Okay, we've decided our cards for the human player. Now let's decide the cards for the AI player. It doesn't really matter what order you do these in. It's the top card. So we're pulling the top card over here. Great. So now we've got all cards for all players, human and AI, exposed. Now, how do you resolve them? For the movement phase here, choose rider, draw cards, play the cards, and then recycle and repeat. Now we're in the movement phase. Reveal all energy cards and then move all riders forward in the order of from the top of the pack or the head of the pack moving backwards. That's how we move them. And if you have a tie, then the one that's closest to the right side of the track, this double line here on the right side of the track, gets to go first. So that means that the blue sprinter gets to go first. Blue sprinter, their card is a 4, so it moves forward 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's where it stops. Then comes the green sprinter, moves ahead 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now here's part of the rules. If you end up in a spot where there's nobody and you're in the left side of the track and there's nobody to your right, you automatically slide down to the right side, as you can see. All right. Next is the blue roller. The blue roller moves ahead 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can change lanes at no penalty, no additional space, so 5. That's where they end up. Blue roller moves ahead 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Slides down to the right here. And then finally, my roller has a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5, 6. So this is one of the problems here. The pack is so tightly bunched up that there's no way for my roller to pass through, to get through. So even though they have a 6, 6 would put them in the same spot as another rider here, and they can't do that. So I end up in the spot as far ahead as possible that I could get to. So that's where my roller ended up. And then finally, let's resolve my sprinter, who has to move 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, slides down here. Okay, so now we've resolved all movement in turn number 1. So what do? We remove all played cards. Remember, they don't get shuffled back into the deck. They are removed from the game permanently. So play your cards wisely. Okay. I'm just going to make 2 piles over here. I'm just going to make, I'm going to put them over here. And we'll sort all of these out a little later on. Okay, so that was turn number 1, and we are all kind of still bunched up over here. Now, according to this handy-dandy reference card, we apply Slipstream. So Slipstream means, and you're not going to see it actually on this turn, let me move this guy ahead forward 1. If there is one space between the rider ahead and the rider behind, the rider behind will benefit, is said to be in the slipstream of the rider ahead. The rider ahead is exerting more effort. And so in the slipstream phase, you could actually move up 1 for free if that was the situation. Now, of course, I was just showing you that that is not the situation. There is no space between any of our riders right now, so no slipstream. So, that doesn't happen at least here in turn 1. You'll probably see it a little later on. But here's the nice thing for me as a human player. You'll notice that my red riders here all have a rider directly in front of them. And that rider directly in front of them is exerting more effort and is breaking the wind so that my riders actually are having a free ride right now. Basically what this means is, if you end your turn and there's a rider in front of you, you don't have to add any exhaustion cards to your deck. And this is very good news because I don't want exhaustion cards added to my deck. I want to conserve my strength because I want to be able to hold on to my high-value cards and make a big sprint for the finish a little later on in the race. At least that's my strategy. Okay. So we've just played one entire turn now, and I'm going to stop explaining so many things now, and I'm just going to play and just keep the banter running. So let's go. Now let us choose cards for our roller. Roller is slightly ahead. Okay, we've got a 4, a 5, a 3, and a 3. Okay, so if I play a 3, roller goes 1, 2, 3, and then moves up there. If I play a 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, moves up there. Play a 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, moves up there. So basically I'm going to end up in these 3 spaces over here. Which one do I want to do? Which one do I want to do? Well, right now I think I'm going to be conservative. I'm just going to play a 3. Let's see how that goes. And then recycle the rest of the cards, put them underneath here. And then for my sprinter, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, what have we got? Ideally, something that is going to allow them to slipstream. Interesting. Maybe I'm going to choose a 5 to play for my sprinter. Let's see if that actually gets us in some kind of proximity where we can key off of each other. Okay, there are AI cards all revealed. So you can see now the AI doesn't use any kind of strategy. This is why it's called Muscle Team Solo Variant. You're just playing whatever is the number on the top card as it happens. So there's more randomness and no strategy at all in how the AI moves. But the nice part about it is that you're still using the player cards, so their movements kind of emulate the movements of a player. Just without any kind of like strategy from turn to turn. Okay, here we go. Choose rider, draw cards, did that. Play the cards, we did. Recycle, and then repeat. And then now we move, reveal the energy cards and move all riders forward. By the way, that reveal all energy cards, that's just for the multiplayer game. You choose the card you want to play in secret in the multiplayer game, and then everybody reveals at the same time. And it's also simultaneous action selection. So that's kind of cool. All right. So now we start moving them in the order from the frontmost moving backwards. So first to go is going to be the green sprinter, who's got a 2. 1, 2. So that kind of messes me up because I was hoping to get that spot, right? So the movements of the other riders affect yours, obviously, here on this very cramped track. Next is the blue sprinter, who moves ahead 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then the blue roller moves ahead 3. 1, 2, 3. Kind of blocking that space there. Then the green roller moves ahead 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so if nothing else changes here, we're going to see some slipstream action a little later on. My roller moves ahead 3. 1, 2, 3, slide. And there's somebody in front of him, so that's kind of interesting. But, okay, we'll see how that plays out. And then my sprinter is going to move ahead 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's kind of it. You end up here, because we got blocked, because there's no space to move. Okay, so that was move all riders forward. Now we remove all of our played cards. Just putting them all in a pile to the side here. All right. And then we apply slipstream. So you'll notice that there is exactly one space in between this guy and this guy, which means that and you resolve slipstream from the back of, so it's the reverse of resolving movement. Slipstream is resolved from the back of the pack moving ahead. So there's no slipstream effects that I can benefit from over here because there's no space in front of me. But these two here in the middle benefit from slipstream, so they all get a free movement up 1 like that because they're in the slipstream of the riders ahead of them. And now we apply exhaustion cards, and that's bad for me because now there's nobody in front of my rider, so that means that both my roller and my sprinter acquire an exhaustion card each, and they get recycled on the bottom. So that's going to come into play once I burn through my deck. That exhaustion card is going to come out. So when the exhaustion card comes out, it limits the number of good card choices that you have. All right, that was turn number 2. Let's move on to turn number 3. Let's get cards for my sprinter now. So we got a 2, a 2, a 2. So your sprinter has more not so great cards, and exhaustion already came out. So no choice. Really, whatever I pick, my sprinter is going to move ahead 2 spaces. And that kind of limits the choices that I have for my roller, because I'd really like them to be kind of close together to be able to key off of each other and kind of help each other out, mainly by slipstream. All right, top 4 cards for my roller. What have I got? A 5, a 4, a 6, and a 6. I'm going to play the 4 because I want to still be close to or within range of my sprinter. All right, and let's just reveal what the AI movement cards are. We've got a 9 over here. That guy's going to zoom ahead. On the flip side, that means that he's going to burn a high-value card early on, which means he might, hopefully, won't factor into the end game here. Let's see, he might burn himself out too early. Okay, blue sprinter moves ahead 3. That's roller. Sprinter's over here, moves ahead 2. 1, 2. Green roller moves ahead 3. 1, 2, 3. Slide to the right. Green sprinter moves ahead 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Look at you going ahead of the pack. Blue roller moves ahead 3. 1, 2, 3. Stays right there. There's somebody beside you. Now my red roller moves ahead 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's good. I'm not going to suffer any exhaustion there. And my red sprinter moves ahead 2. 1, 2. Slide down. Now that's nice because then they'll be able to slipstream, and neither of them are going to suffer exhaustion this turn. See, this is the kind of thing we're talking about, where your riders end up and how you kind of play their cards kind of play off against each other, and there's a little bit of synergy. Okay, so let's get rid of all of these played cards. Excuse me. All right, so now let us apply slipstream. Again, reminding everybody we apply slipstream from the back moving forward. So yes, my sprinter, it gets a little bit of assist from their partner here. There's no slipstream effects anywhere else, so I'm the only one who benefits from slipstream this round. And we assign exhaustion. Neither of my riders will suffer exhaustion because there is no space in front of them. Their air friction is being broken up by the riders in front of them. And of course the AIs don't suffer from exhaustion. Darn them. Okay, so let's move on to the next turn. I'm going to choose cards for my sprinter once again. What have I got? Oh, there's a 9 there. There's a 3. There's a 5. And there's a 2. Another exhaustion card comes out. I kind of really want to hold off on using my really high value cards until later on. So I just want to keep myself within striking distance of the pack here. So I think my sprinter is going to choose, do I want a 3 or a 5? Do I want a 3 or a 5? I'll choose a 5. I'll play a 5 for my sprinter. These guys get recycled. And my roller, okay, we've hit the bottom of the deck here. We've got one exhaustion card coming into play here, a 3, a 5, and a 7. So I played a 5 over there. I don't want to play a 7 or a 3. I'm be conservative once again, and I'll play a 3. I'm really, really trying to conserve my higher value cards for much later on in the game. Okay, so now we've gotten to the first face-up card, which means for my next go-around, for my next turn, this gets shuffled face down, and then this is the new draw deck for my roller. Okay, and then let's draw the cards once again for all the AI players, AI riders, and resolve. So green sprinter goes first. Green sprinter is a 3. 1, 2, 3. And then green roller goes next. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Blue sprinter. 1, 2, 3. Blue roller. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Slide down. My roller is going ahead 3. 1, 2, 3. And my sprinter is going ahead 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's not good. My sprinter is going to have exhaustion. All right, so we've completed movement for this turn. I believe this is the fourth turn, number 4 now. So let's remove these cards from the game. So these decks, the decks of the AI players are just going to get depleted lower and lower. Ours are going to have remain kind of substantial because exhaustion cards are getting added. But so far, knock wood, I'm happy at the rate at which exhaustion cards are actually being added or not being added to my decks. I don't want to jinx myself or speak too soon. So now, let's apply any slipstream effects. No slipstream here, no slipstream here. This blue roller is going to benefit from slipstream thanks to this green roller up here. And there's too much distance here, so no slipstream there. Great. And exhaustion. My blue sprinter is going to acquire another exhaustion card. They are out in front, and there's nobody in front of them. All right. That was turn number 4. Let's keep on going. I'm going to move my sprinter. I have to shuffle this deck now because we got to the end of it. All right. We've got 3 cards and then 1 exhaustion card. We've got a 4, a 5, and a 9. Again, I'm being conservative and I'm holding off on my high value cards until later on. So I'm playing that 4. This is the first time I'm trying this kind of conservative strategy. Let's see where it lands us. And then Same thing, we have to shuffle the deck of our roller. And let's get the top 4 cards, and let's see what we've got. We've got a 4, 3, a 7, and a 6. So we've got a 4 over here. 4, 3, 7. I'm going to play this 6. And let's see what that gets us. All right, AI players, let's reveal your cards right over here. Another 9. That sprinter is going to run out of gas very soon. So sure, keep on bringing out your high-value cards. Okay, green sprinter who's out in front is going to do another sprint of 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The concern right now is, okay, they're going to burn themselves out because they're using all their high-value cards, but are they going to open up so much of a lead that I can't catch them? So that's kind of like the concern here. Green roller moves ahead 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's too bad that the AI players don't suffer from exhaustion, because both those are going to get hit by exhaustion pretty quick. And then next is the blue roller who moves ahead 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I spoke too soon. Green roller isn't going to suffer exhaustion if that doesn't change. Blue sprinter moves ahead 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Red sprinter, mine, moves ahead 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And my red roller moves ahead 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, no, it doesn't look like there's any slipstream effects here. And if we apply exhaustion, well, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's remove these cards from the game. Okay, removing cards from the game. And if we apply exhaustion, both of my riders are out in front, so they're both going to acquire another exhaustion card to the deck. So that's what I do not like. I hope I didn't jinx myself by boasting about how little exhaustion I was acquiring to this point, relative to my previous plays of the game where I basically got a lot of exhaustion cards every single turn. Okay. Still going to choose cards for my roller this time. What do we got? We got 2 5s and a 7. I'm going to choose a 5. I'm going to hold off on that high value 7 till later on in the game. And then for my sprinter. All right, what do we got? Oh boy, 2 of these are exhaustion cards, a 9 and a 2. Do I actually play that 9 now? Is it time? I'm gonna go for it. You know what? Yeah, I don't know if I want to do that right now. This is a tough one for me. There's a lot of 2s in that deck. I'll play this 2 right now. There's very little chance of synergy between my 2 riders. Well, we'll see. We'll see where it ends up. Okay. And let's expose the AI cards. Once again, our green sprinter way out in front. Green sprinter is going to move ahead 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the blue roller will move ahead 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. In second place right now. The green roller will move ahead 3. 1, 2, 3. That looks like a slipstream situation right there, unless somebody can close that gap. The red roller, that's me, moves ahead 5 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No exhaustion there. That doesn't change. The blue sprinter will move ahead 9. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Big move to get up into second, tied for second right now. And the red sprinter will only move ahead 2. 1, 2, slide to the right. Okay, so let's remove these played cards from the game. And let us apply any slipstream effects, if any. So starting from the back, no slipstream here and no slipstream here. Here there is slipstream, which now is bad news for me because now both of my riders have nobody in front of them, so both of my riders will gain yet another exhaustion card into the deck. So this is what you don't like to happen. You don't want to have a lot of exhaustion cards in your deck because they limit your choices. Okay, let's keep on going here. So I'm gonna choose cards for my roller. Getting the top 4 cards of my deck here. And what have we got? We've got an exhaustion, a 6, a 4, and a 5. I'm gonna stay with the conservative approach and play that 4. And then for my sprinter, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 2, 3. So either a 2 or a 3. I kind of want to get rid of the two cards from my deck. I'll play a 3. Okay. All right. And then our AIs just once again just flip open the top card. See what happens. Okay. And our green sprinter is way out in front, so the green sprinter is going to move ahead 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the blue roller is going to move ahead 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The blue sprinter will move ahead 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The green roller moves 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And by the way, I should move that guy down to the right lane. And now we resolve my guys, who are way back in the pack. The red roller will move ahead 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the red sprinter move ahead 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. It might be time very soon for me to start trying to make a move. Well, so let's get rid of these cards. Remove them from the game. And let us apply slipstream effects, if any. Doesn't look like there's any spaces in between. One space in between, so no slipstream. Exhaustion. Both of my riders have nobody in front of them. So once again, the sad occurrence that both of my riders will get another exhaustion card added to their deck. Do not like that at all. Don't like that one bit. Okay, next turn, movement. Let's try to move my sprinter up, shall we? Okay. Oh. So those are my 3 cards, and then let's shuffle, 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 shuffle. One more card. Okay. What do we got? We've got a 9, a 3, a 4, and a 5. I'm way in the back here. I could play this 9 and get myself closer to the pack. But I can trust that I haven't played any of my 9s, which means they're all going to still be there and come out a little later on in the game. And hopefully the AI players would have already exhausted themselves. But I don't want to make myself too far back in the pack here. So, you know what? I'll play a 9 right now for my sprinter. There you go. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Am I panicking? I might be panicking. Well, that's I've already made the decision. I already announced it. It's on video, so I can't change it anymore. All right. For the roller, we've got 3 exhaustion cards. So really, the only valid card to play. Well, I mean, I could play an exhaustion card, but I'm gonna play a 7 for my roller. Okay. Okay, and then the AI cards, just once again, just top card. They're okay. I was gonna start to complain that their high value cards haven't really come out. The blue sprinter just played a 9. So let's see where we are. The green sprinter is way out in front. Green sprinter over here is gonna move 3. 1, 2, 3. Next is the blue roller. We'll move ahead 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No slipstream in between there. Next is the green roller. We'll move ahead 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then the Blue Sprinter is going to move ahead 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There is a slipstream now, and there's a slipstream there as well, unless my riders can change that. My red roller will move ahead 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No slipstream, but also no exhaustion. If that doesn't change, it's going to change because this rider is going to move ahead. You should stop talking to yourself, Martin. Well, and then finally, I'm a solo gamer. I always talk to myself. Red Sprinter moves ahead 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Closing the gap and getting them closer to the main pack here. Now we get rid of our played cards. And after getting rid of these cards, removing them from the game, we're going to apply some slipstream effects. So no slipstream back here, no slipstream back here, slipstream here, slipstream here. Tightly bunched pack at the head of the pack here. Once again, no rider in front of me, no rider in front of me here. You both get one more exhaustion card in your deck. Well, that's just peachy. I didn't want that. That's not a good prize for me. Okay, let's keep on going. We are pressing on. I'm going to choose cards for my roller. Here are the top 4 cards for my roller. And we've got 1 exhaustion there, a 7, a 3, and a 7. Do I want to play a 7 now? Is it time to play a 7? Is it not yet? We're kind of halfway done. I kind of still want to hang on. You know what? Okay, I'm not going to panic. I'm just going to play this 3. I'm going to go back to my conservative ways now that I did kind of one turn of moving people forward closer to the pack. And getting 4 cards, top 4 cards for my sprinter. We got a 2, a 3, and 2 exhaustion cards. So you know what? Let's just play this 3. Okay. And our AIs play their cards, expose their cards. High value card over there. Fairly high value cards, middle of the road over here. Okay. So, green sprinter is now going to move forward 2. 1, 2. Blue sprinter, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have a lead change now. The blue sprinter has taken over the lead. Blue roller will move 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the blue team is now in front. The green roller will move ahead 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And there, side by side, teammates, green teammates here. The red team, roller is going to move ahead 3. 1, 2, 3. And sprinter is going to move ahead 3. 1, 2, 3. So we're bringing up the rear. Not surprising since we've taken a conservative approach to our racing here, which means we're also going to acquire more exhaustion cards. Coming soon to a movement deck near you. Unwanted exhaustion cards. But first, let's resolve if there's a slipstream. None here, none here. 1 slipstream effect here. So you slide down. And now we have a whole line of people in the lead pack. And they are the opposing teams. And so both of my riders get exhaustion cards added to their deck. All right, let's keep right on rolling. And let's get cards for my roller. Top 4 cards. What has our roller got? 1 exhaustion, a 4, a 5, and a 6. I'm going to play that 4. I hope that my patience pays off. And that my high value cards, because I'm holding off on using them, that they come and all in the big rush and save me in the end game here. Top 4 cards for my sprinter. All right, what do we got? Oh boy, all exhaustion cards. See, so there's a lot of exhaustion going on for my sprinter, so no choice. We'll have to play an exhaustion card. Sprinter's deck is full of red exhaustion cards. And let's get the cards out for our AI opponents. Okay, some weak cards came out over here. 7 came out over here. Okay, so now our blue roller will move ahead 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the blue sprinter will move ahead 3. 1, 2, 3. Potentially a slipstream effect there. The green sprinter will move ahead 2. 1, 2. Potential slipstream there. And the green roller will move ahead 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There you go. Now let's move ahead. Let's move my players now. The red roller will move ahead 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the sprinter will move 2. They are exhausted in this turn. And speaking of exhaustion, because there's no riders in front of me, you know what's going to happen. Is we are going to get even more exhaustion cards added to our deck. Well, let's look at slipstream first. Nope. Here slipstream, and here slipstream. Cool. So the AIs are benefiting from slipstream effects. Well, that's just great for them. I don't really care about the AI. All I care about is beating them. Okay. Moving right along. Let's. It might be time. I don't know. Is it time for us to start playing our high value cards and making a run for the finish here? Let's see. You know what? I'm gonna take a look at Sprinter right now. What do we got? We've got a 9 to come out, a 2, another 9, and okay. I'm gonna shuffle the deck here. The rest of the deck. And a 5. Okay. So, those are our vaunted high-value cards. They're starting to come out. Is it time? Is it time to use them? I'm going to say no. I'm going to play that 5. You're a crazy man, Martin. Maybe I am. Or am I crazy like a fox? We'll find out. All right. There are my top 4 cards for my roller. Let's see what we got. We got 5 and 3 exhaustion cards. So, I'm going to play that 5. Exhaustion cards get recycled to the bottom of the deck. AI cards come out. I'm worried. The AI cards, not seeing a lot of really high-value AI cards, so they may have been saved. The AIs may have been saving their big cards for the end as well. So based on that, it might be time for me to start playing my big cards. We'll see. Okay, so who's in front? The blue roller is going to move first. Blue roller, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the green roller, 3. 1, 2, 3. Slide to the right. And then the blue sprinter. Blue sprinter moves ahead 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm really starting to get worried. I'm worried, and I'm thinking that my conservative strategy may not have worked out for me. But I'm not going to freak out yet. But I'm very, very far away from the leader of the pack here. So, who goes next? The green sprinter. The green sprinter moves ahead 3. 1, 2, 3. And then the red roller, me, moves ahead 5 over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not quite close enough to benefit from slipstream. And then my sprinter will move ahead 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, well, you know what's going to happen. But, you know, let's that's for the future. Right now we are getting rid of these cards. We're removing them from the game. And slipstream. Yes, this rider benefits from slipstream. No over there. Exhaustion. 2 more exhaustion cards for the red team. What else is new? I need to do a better job of playing complementary cards that end my riders' turns closer to each other, or at least closer to the pack. So the drawback of the conservative approach and holding off your big cards until the very end is you end up separated from the pack, and then it's less likely for you to have a rider in front of you, which means more exhaustion cards coming into your deck, as you have been seeing. That's been happening to me all game long. Great. So let's keep on going. I think it's time for me to pull out all the stops, and I'm going to start playing my big cards. So roller, great, well, has a 7 and 3 exhaustion cards. So that's what roller is going to do. Sprinter has a 3 and 3 exhaustion cards. So here I am saving my big cards for a big push to at the end, and because of all the exhaustion in my deck, it is maybe they're not going to come out when I need them. Okay. So blue sprinter is in front, and blue sprinter is going to move ahead too. Thank you. I needed that. I needed you to not move ahead so far. Blue roller will move ahead 3. 1, 2, 3. Green roller 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Takes over the lead. Green sprinter 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Red roller 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then red sprinter 3. 1, 2, 3. So let's get rid of these cards from the game. And no slipstream, slipstream here, and that's that. Exhaustion again. So I am learning the hard way that the conservative approach leads to the addition of a ridiculous amount of exhaustion cards to your deck. So I think that a more kind of judicious or balanced or spread out use of the high value cards and kind of staying with the pack somehow, staying abreast, is a wiser strategy than holding them off until the very end. Because right now, all of my high value cards are kind of locked in my deck, but mixed in with all these exhaustion cards, and so they're not coming out. Okay, Sprinter, I'm going to choose your 4 cards over here. And all exhaustion cards. So that's not a happy occurrence at all. Roller. I'm going to play the 7 because it's about that time. And AIs. Look at that. It's almost like they planned it. The AI's big cards are coming out now. And yeah, let's see. So, who's in front? The green roller is in front. So the green roller is going to move ahead 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The green roller will finish first in the next turn unless something happens. The blue sprinter is going to move 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The blue roller is going to move 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The green sprinter is going to move ahead 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The my roller is going to move ahead 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Slide to the right. My sprinter exhausted moves ahead 2. Okay. So, doesn't look good for me here, folks. I'm not very optimistic about me being able to score really any points. We'll show you how the points work in just a second. Okay, so, are there any slipstream effects? Doesn't look like, well, yes, actually, the green sprinter gets pulled up into my slipstream. So now exhaustion, both of my riders, once again, acquire exhaustion cards into their deck. All right. And well, Red Sprinter has no chance whatsoever. Red Sprinter fell prey to exhaustion. Let's just pull the top 4 cards of Red Sprinter and see what is the kind of probably the last few moves of the Red Sprinter. Let's see. We've got 2 exhaustion cards, a 2 and a 4. So the high value cards that I was hoarding and hoping would come out never came out, and that is a tough lesson for me to learn. Top 4 cards of my roller. What do we got? Hopefully a 9 comes out here. Nope, no 9 whatsoever. All exhaustion cards. Yep. I could not have been more unlucky in this playthrough than if I'd actually set out to lose. Oh boy. Okay. Let's do movement. Starting with the red roller. The green roller. We'll move 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so the green roller. Well, let's see what happens, because the way that the points at the end are determined, if there are multiple riders crossing the finish line in the same turn, is the rider that goes furthest while on the turn that they cross the finish line is the one that gets the most points, the most victory points for crossing. And you only earn victory points for placing first, second, or third. Okay, so next is the blue sprinter. The blue sprinter will move ahead 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That was the. I'm sorry. I moved the. I was looking at the rollers card. So the sprinter should be looking over here. Moves ahead 3. 1, 2, 3. Hasn't crossed the finish line yet. Blue roller. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Slide down. Red roller, exhausted, only moves ahead 2. Green sprinter moves ahead 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And red sprinter moves ahead 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we already have a top 2 finishers, and now we just have to determine who comes in third. So let's get rid of these cards from the game once again. And look for slipstream effects. There are none. Apply exhaustion. Surprisingly, my red roller will not suffer exhaustion this turn, because they're behind and riding in the slipstream of the green sprinter. So really only my red sprinter is going to acquire exhaustion in this turn. Okay, so let's pull the cards for our roller. And there's a 6 in there, so that's a no-brainer. That's what I'm going to play. And for my sprinter, again, all exhaustion. So yeah, so he's just completely pooped and isn't going to be able to, he's not going to be a factor. And let's pull our AI cards here. And this rider, blue sprinter, already ran out of cards. Interesting. I don't know how to resolve that. Does the solo variant tell me what to do? You flip 1 card for each of the 4 competing riders and then move all 6 riders forward as normal. Never assign exhaustion to the AI muscle teams. So I just don't know what to do. How do I resolve? Let's look at the main game rules. You cannot draw cards for a second run. If your energy deck runs out of face down cards, reshuffle the recycled cards. I see. Okay. If there are no cards in your energy deck, take an exhaustion card and play it instead of the energy card. Okay, that makes sense. So essentially, the blue sprinter has run out of movement cards and is also now exhausted. So the only thing they can do is play an exhaustion card. Okay, let's resolve. So the the frontmost racer still in the race and hadn't crossed the finish line is the blue sprinter. And so even though they're exhausted, that is just enough, 1, 2, to be able to come in third. So at this point, there's really no more point in resolving the rest of it, but I'm just going to go ahead and do it anyway and talk about it. So the green sprinter will move ahead. Green sprinter moves ahead 2, 1, 2. And then my red roller moves ahead 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Look at that. I actually crossed the finish line in 4th place. And then my red sprinter moves ahead 2. Okay, and that is pretty much the end of the game at this point, because we already have riders that crossed the finish line and have placed 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. And unfortunately, none of them are me. So the way this works out is technically the green roller moved furthest, and so they are in 1st place, and then therefore they earn 3 tour points. So in this game in Flamme Rouge, the victory points are called tour points. So you earn this rider earns 3 tour points. The green team earns 3 tour points for that finish. 2nd place would be the blue team, the blue roller. So they finish 2nd. They earn 2 tour points, and then the blue sprinter crossed and finished 3rd, so they earn 1 tour point. So as a team, the blue team also earns a total of 3 tour points. I finished, the red roller finished 4th and doesn't earn any victory points at all. So that's how this one race played out. Now you can also play a Grand Tour, a series of races, in which case you would make a note of your team scores in this race, and then that would get added to your score in the next race. In the next race, you decide how many consecutive races you want to race, and then the team with the most points cumulatively at the end of X number of races, 3, 4, 5, however many it is, they are the winner of your Grand Tour. Okay, so let's wrap this up. That was my solo playthrough of the Muscle Team's solo variant for the game Flamme Rouge. And as you can see, hopefully you get the sense that this is a very light game, but even though it's light, it has quite a bit of tactics to consider. The slipstream mechanic adds a little bit of extra things to think about. The positions of the riders, the fact that they slide to the right and they kind of like fill the spaces there. The exhaustion deck, even though it worked against me, I really, really like how that mechanic, the exhaustion mechanic, really kind of mirrors how things happen in real life if you exert yourself over the course of a race. And just the way things look and the components, and thematically it really puts you in the sense of, yeah, we're playing this game that simulates, you know, a cycling race. And so that's pretty much it. That's my solo play of Flamme Rouge, and I really like it, and I heartily recommend it to everyone. So this has been Martin, and I will be seeing you in a playthrough coming soon to my channel. In the meantime, you guys have a good one.